Ladies and gentlemen, you have the FBI, the federal government, you have Democrats investigating New York's governor. Why? Why have Democrats had enough? You have to ask yourself, what did this man do for Democrats in New York, the most liberal and morally superior and unified of all liberal Democrats, more so than even California. In California, you have fanatics and zealots and apoplectic ideologues. But New York is different because you're in closer proximity with all the other wonderful and fuming and seething and very happy and very moral liberal Democrats. There's no, you're just in closer proximity to everybody. And I think the social scene, especially in New York, among liberal Democrats, makes them even more makes them even more loyal to the Democratic Party, no matter what. I could be wrong. There are other factors that make New York, I think, even more liberal than California. Los Angeles and New York are pretty much the same, but anyway. You could debate which is more of a liberal haven. What made Democrats, you have a Democratic politician in New York saying, hey, the governor went after me for telling the truth. You have liberal Democratic voters saying, wait a second, our families have suffered. So it took about a year of economic catastrophe to push to recall Newsom in California, and it took a year of not only economic catastrophe, but also some really devastating allegations and just decision-making that led to a loss of life. Like, the New York governor's decisions, directly impacted families. Notice that I'm kind of being as long-winded as I can, because with the algorithm, I'm not even going to mention, well, I would say you can say the pandemic, but I'm not even going to mention the exact, I won't go into detail, but I'll let you know, of course, he put people who were facing a very tough time with that crisis into elderly old age homes. Okay. What do you think took place? In any facility where, there are elderly individuals that are taken care of, the families can't take care of them, they're in close proximity with one another all the time. And imagine if somebody goes in with that situation. Imagine what takes place. And there have been thousands upon thousands of people who have been, who many have alleged have lost their lives because of Cuomo's decision making. Not you can't say hit subscribe to this channel right now because I want to explain why and how Democrats have presided over the absolute worst economic outcomes and also outcomes in terms of the overall pandemic. Just look at the New York Times statistics. It's there in the New York Times statistics. But you have the federal government, you have the federal government and the FBI U.S. Attorney probing Cuomo administration. U.S. CNN, that's the Times Union, CNN, U.S. Attorney's Office, and FBI scrutinizing the New York governor's administration. Insider, New York governor faces federal investigation over handling. And this man wrote a book. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Be here at 7:30 p.m. Pacific. I might try to do it a little earlier. But be here. The next time I upload will be a live stream. I've had such a great time with live streams. And they're just really awesome. I have the best group of people. We had 500 the other day, close to that last night. So we used to average 1,000 for the live streams is pretty good. I only had at that time 160,000 subs. Actually, it was like about 150,000 subs. So, and I averaged 1,000 viewers on the live streams. So let's get back to 1,000 plus viewers. Tell your friends if you're tonight, if you want something to do and you want something, stimulating, hopefully intellectually stimulating, or just amusing. I do impressions. Bring your friends. It's at around 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So I'm going to think about what time, but check this channel by that time, and we'll have some fun. Live stream tonight at around 6 or 7 p.m. Pacific. But if you want to go to hagoodman.com, you can read my writing in The Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, the Jerusalem Post, the Federalist, other publications, and you can see my debates. And if you want to support my voice long term, my Patreon is below. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a situation where this is a feud, an ongoing feud between Trump and Andrew Cuomo. And you have his brother working at CNN. And what he did, what Phil Murphy and Andrew Cuomo did, and God bless the people of New York and New Jersey. Let's see if New Jersey is trying to recall Phil Murphy. What they've done in those states is run those states into the ground. And they were completely blindsided. They have the worst statistics in terms of, let's go Bureau of Labor Statistics. They have the worst numbers in terms of unemployment and in terms of aggregate numbers for the pandemic. Unemployment rates for states. You have California at 9% unemployment. You have New York at 8.2% unemployment. This is Trump's fault? I want to know, is this Trump's fault? So the people who say that Trump tanked the economy, he left us with the worst economy in 100 years or decades, or I want to know, is it Trump's fault that California has a 9% unemployment rate and Nebraska has a 3% unemployment rate? And it's no thanks to Ben Sass, but it's a red state. Iowa has a 3.1% unemployment. Alabama has a 3.9% unemployment rate. North Dakota has a 4.1%. Arkansas has a 4.2%. And New Jersey has a 7.6%. This is really interesting, and I want to show you something. Hawaii, blue state, 9.3% unemployment. Nevada, generally a blue state, 9.2% unemployment. California, 9% unemployment. Colorado, blue state, 8.4% unemployment. New York, blue state, the epicenter of, unfortunately, this pandemic because of people like its governor. 8.2% unemployment. New Mexico, very blue, 8.2% unemployment. Rhode Island, 8%. D.C., 7.6%. New Jersey, 7.6% unemployment. This is Trump's fault or Phil Murphy? Illinois, 7.6% unemployment. Michigan, 7.6% unemployment. Then you look at Nebraska, 3%. So the states with the lowest unemployment rates, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 8 of the lowest states. 8 of the 10 lowest states are Republican states. Nebraska, South Dakota, Iowa, Utah, Kansas, Alabama, North Dakota, Arkansas, Indiana, Idaho. They range from 3 to like 4.3% unemployment. The states with the highest unemployment rates: Hawaii, Nevada, California, Colorado, New York, New Mexico, Rhode Island, Connecticut, D.C., not a state, but New Jersey, Illinois, Michigan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The top 10 states, and then you add in D.C., have the highest unemployment rates. 8 of the top 10 that are the lowest unemployment rates are red states. And then you have the highest unemployment rates. The lowest unemployment rates are still, you go Montana, South Carolina, Wyoming. They're all 4.8%, 4.6%. Oklahoma is 5.3%. Ohio is 5.5%. Much lower than the 9% in Hawaii, 9.3, 9.2, 9% in California. Do you see a pattern here? This isn't like you don't have to conduct a study. Democrats are big into studies. That can be refuted by other studies, which can be refuted by other studies. They don't look at aggregate numbers. In terms of aggregate lives lost, 7 or 8 of the top 10, go to the New York Times right now, are Democratic-run states, with New York and New Jersey leading up there. New York leading the country. And God bless the people of New York and New Jersey. New York has 8.2% unemployment, and it leads the country in terms of overall, in terms of aggregate number of lives lost, and it's up there in terms of per capita rate. And this is Trump's fault. They have 2 Democratic senators. They have a Democratic governor. They have a Democratic mayor for the largest city, one of the largest cities in the world. How does de Blasio get away with everything? How does Cuomo write a book on leadership? I mean, how does this work? How on earth does this work in this world where they're so worried about information, a battle for information? Oh my God, there's disinformation. People might be swayed. Don't go down the rabbit hole, says the New York Times. Oh my God. There's zero critical thinking skills. You look at, for example, Democrats get their... what Democrats want to do, and you saw Cuomo, I actually listened to his despicable press conference. Andrew Cuomo speaks to you as if you have no capacity in your brain to function like a normal person. America was never great. This is a man who says America was never great. And then he says... fact, all the numbers. What did he say? He goes, Trump, in his administration, went to only Democratic governors, and we had to give his DOJ the numbers before the voters, and there was a void. And then you have the the hilarious and pathetic PowerPoint presentation he's so proud of. Look at the word void. Look at the word void. Void. There was a void in data. A void in data. So therefore, there was disinformation. It is the numbers were accurate. It's like, no, just because you say first of all, the initial excuse is absurd. The DOJ wanted information on your horrendous decision-making, so you gave them the information, but you didn't give the voters of New York, and you didn't give the press? What kind of incompetent buffoon believes this? He spent 15 minutes on a press conference I saw yesterday, and it was so I don't even live in New York. But it was so insulting. There was a void, and well, because we didn't give people information fast enough, therefore they came to the conclusion, since unfortunately a tragedy and a catastrophe took place, and people were losing their lives. Elderly people were losing their lives because of decisions that he made. You don't put people who are suffering in a place where where people are the most susceptible to this. The vast majority of lives lost have been people in the highest age range group. So it's like you couldn't have made a worse decision. You just couldn't have made a worse decision. And he wrote a book on leadership. And you know what? That book might do him in. The investigator should read that book and then see and then get him under oath. But again, look, is there a chance he could slither out of this? Sure there is. I don't think it looks that way because you have Democrats now upset and livid, and rightfully so. See, it'll take a lot for Democrats to question government. Oh my God, even in the age and the era of Trump. Well, where they said they keep on talking about how, Trump, tarnished institutions, and here they were tearing down Trump every second, the president, insulting him, demeaning him every second. But I mean, look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics. You can just look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics. You can look at the aggregate numbers. You could look at the New York Times numbers. Democratic governors have presided, especially Phil Murphy and especially Cuomo, have presided over the absolute worst outcomes. How on earth is this Trump's fault? Schumer, Gillibrand, de Blasio, and then Cuomo. I mean, and then pretty much every representative is a Democrat. So then how on earth can you blame Trump? And now Democrats have said that they've had enough. So Trump won that feud, just like he won the feud in battle with the Lincoln Project. Just like he won acquittal. Because imagine Trump pretty much controls the Republican Party with like 90% approval rating still, and 2 out of 3 leaving if he started his own political party. And Democrats have every possible conceivable advantage. Media is reluctantly addressing this issue with New York's governor. Reluctantly. They don't want to. But they have to because it's actually happening. And this is like the Democratic Party will not experience this universal monopoly on political thought. Like, political discourse in our country runs through the lenses of apoplectic, morally superior liberals. To where they are so petrified that anyone might have a different viewpoint. And their goal is not really information, like controlling information. Their goal is controlling sentiment and emotion. You can't even be suspicious. I mean, it was a long time of people being suspicious of New York's governor. Now, finally, after so much carnage, they're actually investigating. If it was Trump, oh my God. Oh, impeachment. I mean, they impeached Trump for a phone call, and they took a year to investigate what's going on with New York's governor, and his decisions directly led to lives lost. That's what's being alleged. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Trump, I don't want to say that he won that battle because what Cuomo presided over was just absolutely horrendous. It was absolutely just a horrendous thing. There's there's no winning or losing here. But if you want to talk about it in a political sense, he won the feud. He won that feud. And, this is not a situation where, it's pretty obvious that Clinton had servers with top secret intel to hide her communication. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to say that. When they fact check that, they say, well, fact check, Comey. There should be a cartoon character of James Comey and Cuomo called Comey. But Comey said, well, there was no intent. Well, that's not a fact check. That's just an argument or discussion and debate that should continue. Okay? What they want to do is stifle any discussion with a fact check that doesn't even check facts. It just offers a rebuttal into an ongoing discussion that Democrats inevitably would lose on many fronts, on many issues, on many topics. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Be here at about 7 p.m. tonight, maybe earlier, for the upload for the live stream. We have a lot of fun. Ladies and gentlemen. And I will see you later this evening. Thank you so much for your support, for sharing my work, for my new Patreons. Thank you. If you do want to support my work long term, it's really, really helpful. And be here tonight for the live